American IT would like to thank Northeast Utilities for the opportunity to compete and develop a partnership for your computer hardware and associated services. And this small demonstration is designed to show you very quickly how we're planning to meet your objectives. The first objective being to reduce the cost while improving the services. And secondly is to ensure that all the services are performed efficiently, accurately, in a well-controlled manner. Thirdly is to establish a computer services plan, or SLAs, that are planned and within the prescribed budget. And lastly is to establish a simplified means to ensure that all the contract terms are met. What we've done is we've taken your scope and we've aligned them in a typical workflow or a typical scenario of how it would work. One is we assign the technicians, then we set up the administration of the help desk, the resources, the inventory, the ticketing, the SLAs. Then we look at how we can procure and come up with the initial inventory list within the system and maintain complete control over the assets from the asset tagging all the way through the life cycle of the life of the contract, to include all the services: reimages, deployment, break fix, desk side support, moves, adds and chains, support and computer disposal services, and the sale. In essence, the 360-degree view of all of your assets. The American IT Asset Management System / Help Desk reporting tool, SLA, and resource management tool that we use has two sides: the customer-facing side and also the back-end side. The first screen you're looking at here is the customer-facing side. This is the URL or the web form that the users can simply log in and view their current open tickets. They can view their company tickets. They can search for tickets based on their roles and permissions. And if they simply wanted to create a new ticket, they would click Create. And it's a very simple, user-friendly interface that allows them to simply create a ticket, and all of these drop-down boxes are definable based on the RFP and the SLA agreements. So whatever vocabulary or terms Northeastern Utilities needs, we can then put them in there. So finally, we would simply just say this is a service request. It will be going to the service desk. We can say which service it is, and also assign it which SLA it's a part of. And we put the subject and we put the description. We can also add attachments. We can give it a priority and which product it is, and then we simply hit submit. And you'll see here that it's a very straightforward interface. However, the users can simply call in the service request. They can email it as well. In addition to the customer front end, the customer also has a knowledge base accessible to them. So if you have a knowledge base, we would be able to import that in, or we can build the knowledge base based on the responses to the tickets, and the users will be able to search for questions themselves as well. Getting to the back end of the system, this is the administrative side of the inventory asset management help desk service system. So the first thing we'll do for Northeast Utilities is we'll create Northeast as a company. We'll define all of the users, so we'll be able to match an inventory item to an actual resource if it is in production mode. And then we'll give each one of those users roles and permissions. And then we will come over here and we will define the service level agreements based on that. And then following that is then what we'll do is we will then do the inventory. We can import from Excel or CSV from either your existing system, or we can import right from the manufacturer, whether it's HP, Dell. When we actually procure the inventory, we can obtain a CSV file so that we will import the inventory into the system even before it arrives to the warehouse. And once it arrives to the warehouse, we can either manually look it up or we can scan it. And you can see here that once we import this information, you'll see here that each particular configurable item has a plethora of items that you can attach to it. So it actually creates not just the inventory and the asset, but it shows the versions, the history of this. It will link all of the service tickets assigned to this, any of the workflows and permissions for procuring a new PC. So we are actually able to capture 360-degree view of the asset when it comes into the warehouse. It goes in for reimaging. It is assigned to a resource. It is repaired, deployed, reimaged, and destroyed or sold. After we do the inventory, then what we'll do is we will then define workflows. So here's an example of a workflow for a new hire or a change request. And this particular workflow, you'll see here, has different stages. These workflows are defined in conjunction with Northeast Utilities, and the approval process can go back and forth. So the procurement can start with Northeast Utilities, be disseminated out to American IT once it's approved, and then once it's received at the docks, it can also be sent back to American Northeast Utilities for their approval and also recognition and reconciliation of the inventory. But you'll see here, as I hover over the workflow, it actually describes what process of the workflow this is talking about. So when we hire a new employee, we need to get them a PC, we need to get them a phone, we need to schedule their IP address, get them on the network, etc. So this will be mapped out for each workflow and each process. So as we do this, you'll see here that we can also look at the change overview of this. We can now go ahead and schedule this workflow, and or we can actually look at the calendar for this workflow, and we can take a look at a 3-day, a 1-day, 5-day, 7-day, or 3-month view of the deployment schedules and align it with available resources at both Northeast Utilities and American IT. Following the workflow, then you'll see the service manager role. That this is where all the calls will be monitored. Any escalation tickets, they can be changed, moved, or assigned to different levels of technicians. If we define a tech level 1, tech level 2, a supervisor, the service manager has the ability to monitor this as well as the technicians, and to ensure that all of these service requests, deployment schedules are being monitored and acted upon in a timely manner. And while all this information is being captured from the complete inventory, SLA, service level requests, and tickets, the whole thing is being captured, and we have the ability to look at a plethora of reports and stats. Here's a quick example. On this particular page, you'll see here that there's 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5 pages of canned reports that we can implement. So to kind of give you an example of the reports that are in here, if we were to just take a look at a quick report of new tickets and align it to an SLA, we would simply click on that report, we would hit start, and finally then we'd be able to view this either in PDF or Excel spreadsheet. Lays it out in a nice easy fashion. And also, if you look at another example of a report to show you how we can export that, and it can be reconciled with an internal system that Northeast Utility has. If I look at my monthly overview of config items, you'll see here this particular report gives me the ability to print it out as a CSV or print it. So if I set it up as a CSV, I would simply put it that way, and I would open it up in my Excel or Open Office or what have you, and I instantly have this information at my disposal where I can import or export from the system and into an external system. So I'm hoping that the quick overview of showing you from the customer's front end, the customer's frequently asked questions, the administrative panel, the configuration, the inventory, and also the workflow, and then the service manager's desk with all the canned reports. American IT has the ability to capture the 360-degree view of all of your assets aligned with the resources, whether it's in inactive mode, production mode, sunsetting, being destroyed, or sold. In addition, our ability to dispatch all of our help desk tickets in real time via phone shows our level of commitment to serving you better and faster. So I'm hoping this short demonstration has provided some insight into the level of commitment American IT has in our partnership with Northeast Utilities. Thank you very much.